Your Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today marks another significant milestone in our efforts to improve transport connectivity with the signing ceremony for 5 transport projects. For the aviation sector, the Bohol-Panglao International Airport PPP Project Concession Agreement and the Agreement for New Dumaguete and New Siargao Regional Airports PPP Project. For the maritime sector, the civil works contract package of the new Cebu International Container Port, or the NCICP, and the Transaction Advisory Services Agreement for the NCICP solicited PPP projects, and for the road sector, the expression of interest for the Cebu Bus Rapid Transit solicited PPP project. Today's event is a huge leap forward, propelled by vision, innovation, and collaboration, starting with the signing of the Civil Works contract package of the NCICP. First approved by NEDA Board in 2016, NCICP encountered several issues coupled with the combined effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine protracted war, and global tightening of monetary policy, resulting in significant surge in total project cost and further extension of implementation schedule. 8 years after its approval, the project's restructuring finally secured investment NAD in June 2024, triggering the recommencement of procurement activities towards the imminent award of the Civil Works contract package, ultimately leading to this activity today. Next is the signing of the concession agreement for the Bohol-Panglao International Airport PPP project. Bohol International Airport has served as gateway to Tagbilaran City and the rest of mainland Bohol. As the country's first eco-airport, it features an environmentally sustainable structure and green technology built to the highest international standards. We expect Bohol Airport's transformation after Aboitiz Infracapital takes over the airport's operations and maintenance. The privatization project follows closely after last month's signing of the concession agreement for the Laguindingan International Airport PPP project. To AIC forms part of our program of airport upgrade, operate, and expansion when enhancing passenger experience. The PPP project, which was approved by the NEDA Board on October 13, 2023, is expected to increase Bohol Airport's capacity from 2 million passengers annually to 3.9 million passengers annually. Like other airport development projects, Bohol Airport's transformation is seen to promote regional growth, generate jobs and livelihood, and create investment opportunities. As declared by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in his 3rd State of the Nation address in July 2024, public-private partnerships will be a significant approach to infrastructure development. Attesting to this is the response of the International Finance Corporation to build Better More, that increases further its aviation footprint with the signing of the agreement for the new Dumaguete and new Siargao Airport PPP project. This expands to the maritime sector with the signing of the Transaction Advisory Services Agreement for the new Cebu International Container Port PPP, and even further into the road sector with the signing of the Transaction Advisory Services Agreement for the Cebu Bus Rapid Transit Project, PPP, which we will witness today. The new Dumaguete and new Siargao Airport PPP project will be DOTr's first bundled PPP project, wherein more viable projects will be leveraged to mobilize private sector investments and expertise into less viable assets. The NCICP PPP will be DOTr's first ever PPP project in the maritime sector and will be DOTr's first hybrid PPP project in the current administration, wherein cheap concessional financing will be used for civil works, while agile private sector financing will be used for operations and maintenance. The Cebu BRT PPP will help establish a high-capacity, fast and efficient bus system and will soon bring much-needed relief to Filipino commuters, create more job opportunities, and drive greater economic development. We are grateful to the International Finance Corporation for transaction advisory services and continuing support it has provided to the DOTr, leading to this historic event. Following IFC support for the Laguindingan PPP project, the signing of the Transaction Advisory Services Agreement for more PPP projects manifests the administration's unwavering commitment in providing improved transport connectivity across the nation. The continuing collaboration with the International Finance Corporation is a demonstration of devotion to long-term excellence as we embody integrity-driven, technologically advanced, environmentally responsible, and socially conscious standards. We look forward to their continued assistance in advancing other PPP initiatives in the country, as this milestone underscores the transformative potential of PPPs in fostering innovation and driving infrastructure development. Let us draw inspiration from these 5 projects while we look forward to the great potential these upcoming projects have and to the development of our nation's infrastructure altogether. Together, we can uplift the lives of Filipinos. Sama-sama tayo tungo sa bagong Pilipinas. We proudly present these projects as a testament to DOTr's commitment to comply with the President's directive to modernize Philippine transportation with intensity, with passion. Full speed ahead. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Secretary Bautista. And now, kindly direct your attention on screen for a brief audio-visual presentation on the DOTr projects that will be signed today.
The Department of Transportation, under the leadership of Secretary Jaime Bautista, has been relentless in the aggressive expansion of transport infrastructure through the government's Build Better More program. In the maritime sector, the DOTr remains focused on improving sea-based connectivity and mobility. A huge stride for the maritime sector is about to be realized anew, with the momentous signing ceremony for the new Cebu International Container Port project. This marks the commencement of the construction of a new container port terminal with increased cargo handling and container stacking capacities to handle all foreign containerized cargo. The project, to be established on a 25-hectare reclaimed island, is slated to accommodate 2 2,020-foot equivalent unit vessels. NCICP is also intended to be a transshipment port and will convert Cebu as a supply distribution center in central Philippines. Meanwhile, another major infrastructure development to enhance the efficiency of road-based transport is underway through the Cebu Bus Rapid Transit System. This 35-kilometer network spans across Talisay in the south and Talamban in the north. It involves 17-kilometer BRT trunk service, 22 stations, 62 bus stops, 4 terminals, 1 depot, and 18 kilometers of feeder services in the north and south of the trunk lines. The BRT system is expected to serve 116 passengers daily during its first year and may reach a peak of 164,000 daily during full operations. From land and sea to the skies, the DOTr has made major strides in the aviation sector with its continued partnership with the private sector. Under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s administration, the government continues to promote an interconnected Philippine archipelago. The turnover of the operations and maintenance of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport to the new NAIA Infra Corporation, and the signing of the Laguindingan International Airport Concession Agreement with Aboitiz Infra Capital have proven that the viability and success of public-private partnership will lead to world-class infrastructures and efficient travel for passengers. Today, the government and the private sector come together yet again for a shared vision that will facilitate Bohol's better access to business, investments, tourists, and the rest of the world. Aboitiz Infra Capital partnered with the government for the upgrade, expansion, operations, and rehabilitation of the Bohol Panglao International Airport as the gateway for tourism jams in Bohol. A modernized Bohol Panglao International Airport will steer Bohol and nearby provinces' economic growth and guarantee a vibrant tourism hub. Built as the country's first eco-airport for its green features, the Bohol Panglao International Airport is seen to double its capacity to 3.9 million by 2030 through this partnership. Aside from the Bohol Airport, plans for modernization through PPP are also underway for the new Dumaguete and new Siargao regional airports. As the DOTr fulfills President Marcos' order to build better more, the new projects are expected to improve the lives of Filipinos by ensuring a comfortable, affordable, safe, sustainable, and accessible transportation system. This is Build Better More. This is your Bagong Pilipinas.
Before we move on to the signing ceremony proper, let's hear the messages from our distinguished partners, starting with Mr. Sabin Aboitiz.
His Excellency, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., members of the Cabinet, the Senate, partners from the Department of Transportation and the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, distinguished guests, good morning. As I've said before, on behalf of PSAC, real economic transformation can only happen when structural and sustainable improvements are made. In the case of what could be one of our strongest industries, tourism, can only reach its full potential with having efficient and modern airports. We may have the most beautiful beaches in the world, the most beautiful islands, and the most beautiful resorts in the world, which we do. But you need the good airports to get there. Fortunately, the Philippines is making this happen. From Mactan to NAIA to Laguindingan and now Bohol. We are seeing the progress that a commitment to public-private partnerships can actually deliver. These airports have been envisioned for years, but this administration is making it happen very quickly. The PPP model works, and it works because it brings efficiency and it brings expertise to infrastructure development. And when projects move this quickly, the economy is quickly transformed too. Today's signing reflects a government that prioritizes progress and ensures the best solutions are in place to serve the public. For us in the private sector, this is about making an impact that will last for generations. With this investment in Bohol Panglao Airport, it'll be modernized, its capacity will be expanded, and its passenger service experience significantly improved. There are already several direct flights a day from Korea. I understand there are about 7 to 8 a day today. So this is something that can be replicated across the other airports nationwide. So tourists can come directly in and see the beauty of what our country really has to offer. So we're grateful for the trust and support of the Office of the President. Thank you very much. The Department of Transportation and the CAAP. You know, to the DOTr, your negotiating skills are getting tougher every time. I pity the next guy is coming after us. We're fully committed to making Bohol Panglao a world-class gateway that the region and the country can truly be proud of. Kidding aside, our shared goal is the development of the entire region. It's the job of all of us to get it done together and not separately. Collaboration is the only way, and collaboration is really actually the best way. So we look forward to working with the government, with the Department of Tourism, with the CAAP, with the Department of Immigration, with the Department of Customs, or the Bureau of Customs, right, in making the passenger experience really much better. So this project is for the people of Bohol and Central Visayas and for the millions of new tourists that we hope will discover the beauty of the Philippines. It's a huge step forward for tourism and for the Philippine economy, and we thank this administration for making it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aboitiz. And now, may we call on Mr. Emmanuel Nirinkindi of the International Finance Corporation.
Your Excellency, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the Cabinet, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista, Finance Secretary Ralph Rector, Executive Director Cynthia Hernandez of the PPP Center, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning, magandang umaga, mayong buntag. It is my great honor to be here today for the signing events of key infrastructure projects in the Philippines. This is a momentous occasion as we witness major project milestones for the new Cebu International Container Port project, the new Bohol Panglao International Airport, and the new regional airports in Dumaguete and Siargao. IFC has had the privilege and the honor of working with the Department of Transportation on these and other transportation projects, now covering air, land, and sea. They are a clear signal of the World Bank Group's growing engagement with the government of the Philippines. In my many meetings here this week in Manila, I've been reminded at every turn of a long-standing fruitful partnership between IFC and the Philippines. We're very proud of this collaboration, indeed, since the 1980s. IFC has been providing PPP advisory services in the Philippines, and over the past 3 decades, we have mobilized over $2 billion for the water, transport, and energy sectors in this country. We continue to see a lot of opportunities for more public-private partnerships here, due to this country's robust legal, institutional, policy, and regulatory framework. For example, the Philippines was the first country in Asia to pass a landmark PPP law, a law that is now copied by most countries in the region. So we are humbled by the government's trust in IFC to continue a successful track record of PPPs that deliver development solutions. The Philippines has a vision to build better, more, when it comes to its infrastructure. And this resonates with us at the IFC as we invest in climate-resilient, sustainable, and inclusive infrastructure that drives growth and opportunities for all. We value a programmatic approach in our partnership with the Department of Transportation, which aims to deliver a full suite of services for public-private partnerships to flourish in the country. In designing the PPP concessions, guided by the government, we will provide advice and support to promote inclusive access, thereby enabling transport facilities that take into account the needs of women, the elderly, children, and people with disabilities. We have done this for our bus rapid transit and cable cars projects in Colombia, in Almaty Airport in Kazakhstan, and in tramway projects in Turkey and in Morocco. Now, across all our projects here in the Philippines, we are committed to bringing IFC's expertise and resources to help deliver infrastructure that is transformative and inclusive, improving the lives of all Filipinos. As an archipelago of over 7,000 islands, the country's development of airports and ports is essential. It is also absolutely critical for connecting people and markets and spreading economic benefits throughout the Philippines. For example, the construction of a new international port will also expand market opportunities for Cebu, the second largest trade and economic hub in the Philippines. The new Cebu International Port will also support integration by improving connectivity, lowering logistics costs, and expanding domestic and international trade in the Visayas region. In Bohol, another wonderful island just outside Cebu, the PPP concession for the new international airport will initially double its capacity to serve 3.9 million passengers annually. Such a jump enables the airport to support the province's long-term tourism potential and bring about tangible economic benefits to the province and its people. And speaking of prime tourist destinations, we're also happy to assist the government in exploring private sector participation in 2 new regional airports in Dumaguete and in Siargao. There is a possibility of bundling these with other major airports to attract credible international investors even to smaller airports in the country. I realize that we are all here at the Malacañan Palace, yet looking at what we will do in Cebu, Bohol, in Dumaguete and Siargao, one thing is crystal clear. The impact of these projects goes well beyond this magnificent room. In fact, the projects we are signing today will carry immense benefits reaching communities far and wide. For each runway, road, and seaport that we build or improve, we create more jobs and business opportunities. So let me extend my congratulations to everyone who has worked on these landmark projects. Let me also warmly congratulate other partners in development who are signing their respective contracts with the government today. IPD's Infra Capital, Korea Exim Bank, and Hanjin Heavy Industries. We look forward to collaborating with your teams to deliver for the government and the people of the Philippines and to turn the promise of these important projects into reality. Thank you, Marang Ming, Salamat, Danghang Salamat, and full speed ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Nirinkindi. At this time, we shall now proceed with the signing ceremony of the various DOTr agreements. May we request Secretary Jaime Bautista, Mr. Cook Iljon, Director General Captain Manuel Antonio Tamayo, Ms. Cosette Canilao, and Mr. Thomas Lubeck to proceed to the signing table. The agreements to be signed are the new Cebu International Container Port Project Civil Works Contract Package, Bohol Panglao International Airport PPP Project Concession Agreement, new Cebu International Container Port Transaction Advisory Services Agreement, new Dumaguete and new Siargao Regional Airports Agreement, and expression for interest for the Cebu Bus Rapid Transit Project. Thank you, and congratulations to the DOTr and its partners. At this point, may we request the President to proceed in front for the presentation of the signed agreements and for a quick photo opportunity. Thank you, Mr. President. May we now call on the Finance Secretary, Secretary Ralph Recto, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos, Jr.
Thank you to our Finance Secretary, for Secretary Ralph Rector, for your kind introduction. Please let's take our seats. The Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps and the proponents of all of these programs that we have put together, Senator Grace Poe, the Deputy House Speaker Vincent Franco Frasco, other elected officials who are here, the CAA Director General, Captain Manuel Antonio Tamayo, Aboitiz Group President and CEO, Sabine Aboitiz, International Finance Corporation, the Vice President Emmanuel I have to sort of struggle through this. Nirinkindu, close enough. Our key development partners and stakeholders, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Malacañan. We Filipinos have a saying, nothing is impossible for those of us who dream. But the journey to these dreams do not begin with just a single step. They often start with a queue at the terminal, on the streets, or at the all-familiar kiosks and booths in establishments of government offices. So despite this, one thing sets us Filipinos apart. We do not take no for an answer. Instead, we find ways, we become resourceful, we make the impossible possible. We figure out how to keep a positive outlook despite difficult situations. We find a way to turn a problem into an opportunity. That is our spirit. Positive, in spite of odds, resilient, despite of what has been lost, and hopeful in the face of adversity. However, there comes a time when we must move beyond this will do, or in the local language, pwede na yan. For us to move forward, we must commit and affirm that we can do better. We are, after all, Filipinos. We can do better. This is the new mindset in this age of a Bagong Pilipinas. And that is why this morning I wish to share how we are going to make these things happen, how we can change things for the better and ensure that progress reaches every corner of our country. Let's begin with Cebu. Commerce and trade are growing tremendously, which leads to port congestion. That is an opportunity. So we will build the new Cebu International Container Port, a 17 billion peso modern port facility that will help ease congestion in the existing Cebu-based port. Once completed, this will not only make goods more affordable, but will also generate thousands of jobs for our people. Apart from this, it will also create more opportunities for everyone as it will provide increased space for port activities. Traffic in Cebu, just like in many metropolises, is a problem, but also an opportunity to find unique solutions, one of which is the Cebu Bus Rapid Transport Project, which will provide Cebuanos with a reliable, efficient transport system. Costing over 28 billion pesos, this modern bus network will connect key parts of Cebu City, making daily commuters easier in their commute and more comfortable. In Bohol, the number of tourists visiting is increasing annually. And if you have been to the island, you have probably seen its rich culture, breathtaking beauty, and the friendly warmth of the people. Since 2018, the Bohol Panglao International Airport has served as a gateway to the province's treasures and a driver of economic growth. That's well and good. But airports must continue to grow alongside the communities that they serve. This is where the 4.5 billion peso BPIA Public-Private Partnership Project will come in. We will expand the project in 2 phases. By 2026, its capacity will increase from 2 million to to 2.5 million passengers a year. By 2030, we will reach almost 4 million passengers. This means we can provide seamless travel to a lot of tourists, which translates to more jobs for Boholanos, especially in the hotel and restaurant industries. This project is expected to generate 15 million pesos in annual revenue during its first 5 years, rising to 200 million a year by the end of the concession period. But more than just the revenue, its true success will be the number of lives that it will change for the better in Bohol. It is a promise to our beloved people that they will be the first to benefit from the continued arrival of tourists and of investors. From Bohol, we now move to Dumaguete and Siargao, two places that have their own unique beauty and have gained their own identity. Dumaguete, rich in history and culture, has long been a center for education and commerce. Siargao now has captured the world's attention as a top destination for surfers and nature lovers. But both places face the same challenge: limited connectivity. So we shall not settle for small fixes. And that is why we are building the new airports in Dumaguete and Siargao. These projects will completely change the way people travel to and from these areas. The new Dumaguete Airport will create more opportunities for students, for workers, and businesses, while the new Siargao Airport will help support tourism and trade. With the support of the International Finance Corporation, we will ensure that these airports meet global standards. But beyond the technical aspects, what is important is a positive change that they will bring. These projects shall allow our farmers to efficiently bring produce to new markets, tourists to discover more of the charms of these islands, and entrepreneurs to expand their businesses. As we close, let us remember, these projects are not just structures. They are representative of every Filipino's dream of more comfortable travel, better opportunities, and a clearer path towards their goals and dreams. My fellow Filipinos, the future will not simply come to us. We must be the ones to build it. And this is how we will move forward. So let us together build a better Philippines we can proudly bequeath to our children. Maraming salamat po. Congratulations to all the stakeholders for this great success. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. Likewise, may we request Secretary Bautista to join the photo opportunity. For our first group, may we call on stage our select government officials and select DOTr partners. NCICP project team, please stand by. Thank you. Please exit to your left. Thank you. NCICP project team, you may now proceed in front. Bohol Panglao project team, please stand by. Thank you. Please exit to your right. Bohol Panglao Project Team, you may now proceed in front. Transaction Advisory Services Agreement Team, please stand by. Thank you. Please exit to your left. Transaction Advisory Services Agreement Team, you may now proceed in front. Thank you. Please exit to your right. At this point, may we request the President to kindly grant us a group photo with all of our attendees. Likewise, may we request everyone to please stand and join the President in our group photo. Ready at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Mr. President, for granting us a photo opportunity.